Hi again. My name is Ike Darius, and welcome to my channel. The last time we spoke a lot about how you can get the funds to buy your first home. And we mentioned if you're a veteran, first of all, please subscribe and share this video. Let everyone that you know that you found a channel that really gives you the information that you really need to buy your first home. Everything that you've heard before didn't work, but this will work. So share it. Let everyone know. Okay. Now, the last time we spoke about the how you can get the funds to put down on a property, and some of those sources of down payment only provide for the down payment, but not the closing costs. Let's say, for instance, if you're a veteran, you can finance up to 100% of the property. If you buy the house for $200,000, the bank will finance the whole $200,000 for you. And there's also USDA loan. If you get a USDA loan, it's another government-sponsored program where you can finance up to 100% of that amount as well. But certain programs that you get, they only give you the down payment, not enough. Let's say, for instance, I live in Orlando. I mentioned that before, and they used to give like $15,000 towards the down payment. Given the medium prices of the homes here in Orlando, that would be enough to cover the down payment and closing costs back in 2018. So the prices of the home were not that high, and that was enough, and a bunch of people took advantage of that and bought homes. They don't have to come up with any money from their pockets because it covers the down payment and also the closing costs. But they have reduced it since then. Right now, it's only $7,500. $7,500 is not enough, because if you're buying a property covered by an FHA loan, the down payment itself is 3.5%. So if you're buying a home for $200,000, you need $200,000. That's $7,000. The down payment itself is $7,000. So the closing costs in certain areas is even higher than the down payment. Let's say if you buy a home where I live here in Orlando, you would need you would need about 7%, as I mentioned before, 7% of the sales price, and 7% of $200,000 is $14,000. So if you get $7,000 from the state, where will the rest come from? You see what I mean? And I know, and you know, a lot of people are not able to save. So you say, I know a way I can get the down payment, but where will I get the closing costs? Well, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Now, the first thing you could do, you could save. You can start saving. Because if you save maybe $100 a week, I know it's not easy, but if you buy a home, if you know that you're buying a home, you can, try to get some discipline and start saving a little. Because, let's say you intend to buy this house in the next, let's say the next year, a year in advance. Let's say I'm buying, we're in February. No, this is March. This is March 2021, and you intend to buy a home in March 2022. So you could say I'm saving $100 a week. $100 a week, and let's say the homes in your area is about $200,000 on average. So you say, okay, so I'm saving $100 a week for the next 52 weeks. I will have $5,200 saved. So yeah, if you can discipline yourself to save that $100 a week, by the time you're ready to buy the house, you will have that. And I'm sure most of you that are listening to me can do that, except that it probably takes a little more effort to do it, but it can happen. If you come from the Caribbean or any other countries, we have a pattern. We have something that we do. That's not a pattern, but we have they call it association. In some communities, they call it association. In my community, they call it Susu funds. In other communities, they call it our partner funds. what they do, about 50, 100, 200, even 300 people put their heads together and they say, you know what, we're forming a partnership whereby each person will give $100 a week or $200 a week, whatever they conclude on. And they said, okay, and each week one person will get the whole sum. Let's say if it's 50 people and it's $100, then one person will get $5,000. If it's 100 people and one person will get $10,000. That's how we do it in our community. I'm from Haiti. Most Haitian that you see with homes here in America, that's how we were able to buy it. And I have been into ever since I came in this country. That's how I managed to save anything. And I know a lot of my friends, that's how they manage to save money. I don't know if something like that exists in your community, but if it does, this is a great thing you can participate on, especially if you want to buy your first home. Participate in something like that, something that you trust. You have to trust it. I've never heard any problem. I've never in our community with this, but there can be some problem though. Don't say that I told me to participate and now I lose my money. I can be responsible. I don't want to be responsible for anything. I'm just suggesting. I'm just telling you what I have done, what I've seen people do in order to save money to buy their first home. So yes, many in our community have been able to do that. And imagine you have 100 people and you said to the owner, hey, I'd like to buy my home this is now in March by September, but I'm participating in this. Please give me that hand in September so I can buy my house. You got $10,000 in June. I mean in September to buy your house. You know, although you're not finished paying yet, you're continuing to pay, but at least you have the money that you need to buy your house now. I think it's a very good idea. Okay, now that's one way you can do it. Or if you have enough discipline, you can put that same amount of money in your bank, except it probably take you longer. It's probably take you longer. This is perfect because even though you're not done paying for it and you have the money now to buy the house. And you know, the more you wait, sometime the interest rate could go up, the value of the property can go up. So yes, if you can participate in something like that, it would really help. Now, what's the other way you can do it? Now, talking about down payment, sometimes the closing cost itself, it's even higher than the down payment. Let's say if you're buying a property for $200,000, I stick to my $200,000. I should have said 100 because it would have been easier. But let's say $200,000, right? And FHA requires a minimum of 3.5% down payment. So that means you will need $7,000 to buy the house, right? But you know the closing cost itself is more. Where I live, I can safely say that I will need another 3.5% again for closing costs. But certain areas where you live, the 3.5% will not be enough because in certain area where you live, the buyer is responsible for the title insurance. Where I live here, the seller is responsible for the title insurance. But let's say if you lived in Miami, the buyer pays. The buyer chooses the title company and they pay for the title insurance. Here, the seller chooses the title company and they pay for the title insurance. That saves the buyer some money, makes it easier for you to buy. But that's why I said in certain area of the country that you live, the closing costs can even be higher than the down payment itself. Let's say if you were to buy a home through FHA. All right. But if you're financing 100%, you still need the closing costs to cover the you need cash to cover the closing costs. Now, how can you get that? One way that I explained before, you can negotiate with the seller contribution. This is very, very popular because let's say the seller asks for $200,000 for their home. Usually they don't expect to sell it for $200,000. They expect you to bargain a little bit. They expect you to lower it a little bit. Some people would ask $190, and probably after a little haggling can get up to $195. You know, it all depends how hot the market is at the time when you are buying. And at that point, you can even ask the seller, "Hey, I want you to contribute $5,000 or $7,000, however amount that you need." You can ask the seller to contribute that. And most of the realtors that I work with are able to get that from the seller. I'd say about 90% of the time. About 90% of the time, the people that I work with, the realtors that I work with, always get some type of seller contribution, even if the person do have the down payment. I mean the closing cost, because when you buy a home, it's not just the buying the house, but you're moving into a new home. You need furniture. You need to buy new things. So you need the cash. So the more money you can have in your pocket, the better. So that's why I urge the realtors that I work with to do their best so they can get some seller contribution so it can help you out, even if you have the down pay, even if you have the closing cost. So the next thing you can do, you can get a gift. You can get a gift. If your parents are well-to-do and they want to help you to buy that home, yeah, they can give you a gift. And also, you can give a gift. Some parents give a gift to put down on the property too. You see, that's another source of down payment. Your parents can gift you the closing costs and the down payment. That's a good source. I mean, not all our parents are well-to-do enough to do that for us, but we wish they could, and I'm sure if they could, most would. Now, what else can you do? Now, there's what you call also realtor concession. I'm a veteran, or I qualified for a USDA loan, and my parents give me a gift, or I qualified for a state or city program. I have the down payment, but I don't have the closing cost. Where can I get the closing cost? The one way you can get it is to sell a contribution, but you also can get it. You can get realtor concession. What is realtor concession? Realtor concession is whereby, let's say you're a realtor. Now let's say your realtor is your friend, and in his commission, he might say, "Hey, I don't want to make all the commission. I'm sharing it with you." The realtor can give you part of their commission. Actually, I have an interesting story. I have a buyer. That buyer bullied me. She came to me and said, "Hey, I went to this builder. I wanted to buy a home, and they asked me if I have a realtor. I told them, yes, I have a realtor, but I'm out of here shopping for a realtor who's going to share the commission with me." I don't know. I don't know where she got the idea that the realtors can share their commission with them to pay for the closing costs. He said, "Yes, I'm looking for a realtor. I'm not. I can just go directly to the builder, because if I go to them and say I don't have a realtor, they will not pay anybody anything. They will keep that commission to themselves. So I'm looking for a realtor who wants to partner up with me, and that realtor will represent me, but that realtor should be able to give me some realtor concession." And I said to myself, "How much is that house you're buying for?" She said, $300,000. Okay. I said, "What's the commission on it?" The commission on that, and I mean, it happens that the house was already constructed. I mean, not finished, but apparently someone else had put a contract on it, and the person backed out. And the builder was trying to sell this property. Because they were trying to sell it, so they offered up to 5% commission on that property, so that they can move it faster. So the more compensation they put on the property, so they know more realtors will be interested. More realtors will be interested in selling it. So the commission on that property was 5%. So 5% of them, say $300,000 times 0.05 equal $15,000. $15,000. What do you think I said? Guess what I said? I said, by all means, yes, I will share it with you 50-50. It says, deal. Listen, I was in my office. I didn't even know that she was shopping, looking for a property. And she came to my office and she offered me a deal. What do you think? I'm going to turn it down? I'm making $7,500 and you think I will turn it down? No, of course not. Yes, I took the deal and I make my half, 7,500, and she made her half, 7,500, and that helps with the closing costs. Look at that. No, now, imagine that. Now, if she was financing this property to USDA, right, with no money down, 100% financing, or if she was a veteran, it meant no money down, or she was getting some type of grant from a government with no down payment, and she needed 7,500 for closing costs, she just get it from me. She used me. Little me, she used me and get my money. Actually, it wasn't my money. I didn't even know that she was in the market. She apparently offered this to many realtors. I don't know, how dumb can you be? How dumb can you be? You actually sit in your office and someone brought some money into your lap and you refuse? What? And this is legal. It is legal to do realtor concession. You can do it. So yes, I said, of course, by all means. Yeah, I'll represent you because I have been a broker. I've been a real estate broker for the past 23 years as well. So yes, by all means, it happened. And she got her house and I got my money. We both happy. Okay, well, what else? How else can you do? Can you get some extra money for closing costs? Hey, you can become a realtor. Yes, you can become a realtor. Imagine that. You're a realtor. If that lady was a realtor, her commission would have been $15,000. $15,000. If she needed $7,000 for closing costs, she would have used that $7,000 as closing costs, and then she still would have pocketed the difference. Yep. You want to buy a house, you don't have the funds, you find a way you can get it, and you probably cannot get any type of down payment where you live, and maybe you can get a USDA. It's just in a rural area, whatever. However, you can get your down payment. Then you look for a source for the closing costs, and becoming a realtor is one of them. So realtors don't spend a lot of money buying their homes because we use our commission for closing costs. Okay, and what else? Again, where else can I get some funds to cover the closing costs? Like I said, I'm qualified for one of those programs for the down payment, but some of them do not cover the closing costs. Where can I get some more closing costs? Lender credit. What is lender credit? Lender credit, remember, nothing is for free. But sometimes it really doesn't really cost you that much, really, to get lender credit. How does that work? Well, the lender, you notice that you don't have enough closing costs, so you told the lender, hey, I don't have enough closing costs. I'd like the lender to help me with my closing costs. How does the lender do it? With the lender, what they do, they probably have to raise the rate a little bit. Right now the rate is pretty low. In 2021, the rate is pretty low. And maybe you could have gotten a rate for maybe 2.5 or 3%. But in order for the bank to give you, let's say, $4,000 or $5,000 back, they probably would have to raise the rate to 3.5% and even 4%. Of course, what's the big deal? I would not mind them raising the rate to a little bit higher. Let me do the math. It's not precise because it's not like I have a rate sheet in front of me to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But let's say if you were to finance a home for $200,000 loan amount, maybe just for 30 years, and then normally you could have gotten a rate of 2.5. It was for 2.5% interest rate, so your payment would have been $790. That's without tax and insurance. That's your principal and interest only, and that's $790, right? and then you said, okay, but I need closing costs. Well, the bank would say, hey, I cannot give you the 2.5% and still give you some closing costs. I'll have to raise the rate a little bit. And well, if you can give me some money, enough money, that you raise it, let's see what will happen. Let's say they raise the rate to maybe 3%. 3% interest rate. Let's see the payment. Well, 843. 843. 790, 843. That's like $53 extra. I'm getting 4,000. Eh? Okay, I'm paying $53 extra, but I'm getting like 3, 4, 5,000, whatever it's available, whatever that can give me to cover my closing costs. So I'm able to get my home now. Why? Or why I'm able to get this is because I know what I'm doing. So my goal is for you, after you finish watching this gentleman with the thickest accent in the world, if you are able to understand me, I want you to be self-sufficient in that case. I want you to actually fulfill the dream of having your first home, because there is no way you can accumulate wealth in anywhere in the world if you don't own your own home. So because of that, by all means necessary, go out there and get your first home. Find out what's available. Go to your state and go to your city, the county. Find out what non-profit organization is giving out there for first-time home buyers, and find out if you qualify for USDA loan. Are you a veteran? Find out all these things, and then now when you secure your down payment, if it's not enough, you want ways to get you don't have the closing costs. Then what you do what I explained. You go to try to get some seller contribution and get some realtor concession. Become a realtor. Become a realtor. And also you can get lender credit. Okay? Lender credit. And all these things that I explained here, if you need more information, you'd like me to explain more, you'd like me to have another show explaining more about these things, I'm more than happy to do that for you. Just go in the comment section and ask me any questions that you want. Anything else you'd like me to discuss, or anything else, any other source of income, or not income, of down payment or closing costs that you know out there that I did not mention, please, by all means, leave a comment here, and I will go over it for the edification of everyone that are listening. Now remember, when you want to buy a home, not all loan officers are aware of what's available out there. Many of them do not do these type of loans. That's why you have to go to the source. When you go to the source, let's say you go to your county, your city, or your state, they always have a list of lenders. You hear me? You hear me well? If you need some type of down payment to buy a property, you don't go to a loan officer first. You go to the source where the funds are coming from, and they will give you a list of lenders that are participating in those programs. Not all lenders participate. They have their own reasons why they don't participate, because many of those loans, the lenders don't make much, so many of them opt out. So you need to go there and find out what's available, and then who's giving it, who can help you get those type of loans. All right, I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you were able to understand me, and if you have any questions, like I mentioned, please feel free to leave me a message, and I will gladly answer your question. And if anything else you want me to touch on, I will gladly speak about it. Thank you very much for your attention, and stay tuned for the next video.